Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Suds News. My name is Vinny. This is Angela, as always, and we are here to bring you all the news that's happened in Port Charles, New York on General Hospital last week. Angela, how are you tonight?
I am good. It's a little windy here, so hopefully my internet won't boot me out. But other than that, I'm good. How are you doing, Vin?
I am doing great. Just a lot of got a lot of news and notes to go over. Just a lot of breaking news that we didn't even hear about until last minute. In terms of casting news.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
other than that,
you have something exciting coming up this Friday night, right?
yes, that is true. I was going to get into that, but this coming Friday night, I do have a paid Zoom event coming up. Friday, the 21st of February at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. $5 to get in. We're going to be talking about the differences and similarities between pro wrestling and soap operas. For those of you who've been watching our show for the past 3 years that it's been on, know that I do correlate a lot of stuff to wrestling because, quite honestly, wrestling and soaps are generally the same genre of entertainment. It's just, one is performed live in front of an audience around four sides, and one is taped in advance and shown during daytime television for the most part. But so there's a lot of stuff, similarities and differences in terms of storyline, storytelling, the writing, and even the fighting. But all
Mm-hmm.
that and more coming up this Friday. Go ahead and DM me if you want, but the my Venmo and Cash App, the QR codes are up on Twitter X, Facebook, and Blue Sky. So go ahead and if you want to join, like I said, it's only $5, and we'll have a good time. Also, for those
Yeah,
of
it's
you
going to be
who
a
are,
blast.
yes, exactly. We're gonna have fun. It's my first time doing one, and we're gonna have fun. Also, for those of you who have been watching and paying attention, coming up in April, Angela and I are going to be meeting Laura Wright, Finola Hughes, and now James Patrick Stewart. At that time, we are going to be presenting Laura Wright with with a Lifetime Achievement Championship belt. And I don't know if I actually uploaded the picture, but I will in a couple minutes.
I was going to say, you
Um,
showed it to me, but you haven't. Yeah, I don't know if you.
Correct.
You
Yeah, no, I haven't put it up on the actual site. So give me a couple minutes to upload it, and I'll go ahead and I'll be able to get that up. But honestly, it looks great. And
Mhm.
if you want to help donate, if you want to help offset the cost of it, go ahead and donate. Go about buymeacoffee.com/suds and Suds Media, and go ahead and help whatever you want to donate, and your name will get added to the card we give her on that day, just to show the fans that appreciate her line of work for her entire career, the lifetime achievement, if you will. Other than that, Angela, didn't you have a Zoom event this weekend, or you had a watch along, didn't you? Did you have a watch along? Yeah, you had a watch along this past weekend.
I did. It wasn't a watch along. It was a Galentine, spelled GHAL. It was
Okay,
we did it as a free one, and it was just a GH talk Saturday night. It was a lot of fun. Um,
gotcha.
and then the Friday before that, I had one of my paid Zooms, which helps pay for our daily watch.
Yep.
And this week we still do our daily live watch at 2:00. We start about 2:15 Eastern time, so we can fast forward commercials. And then we chatted for a little while afterwards, and then we all watched the Beyond the Gates special, because this week CBS
Yep.
is running a little half-hour special every day in the Beyond the Gates time slot. And we're going to be watching those too, because Beyond the Gates premieres next week. So yeah, we did that
Yep.
today as well. So if anybody wants to watch, DM me for the link.
Yeah, I actually know until today about the Beyond the Gate special. So I set my DVR for tomorrow. So I'll
Yeah.
start watching it tomorrow. But it's actually very smart for CBS to do that. Put it in the time slot so to get people used to it ahead of the actual show. And you know what? I gotta say, I DM Matt from 10th Floor. He and I are both wrestling fans, as you guys probably know by now. And um, I feel like the internet soap community, the the people on Twitter or whatever, are just about turning this into a Monday Night War situation, where back in the '90s when WCW and WWE,
competition.
yeah, well, not only that, but it's like they're trying to figure out who's going to jump ship between shows. On 10th Floor, yesterday's episode of 10th Floor, somebody in their chat asked if Taj Bello was leaving GH to jump to Beyond the Gates. And, it's like, I'm like, yeah, that's not how it works. They're not, contracts are a little different than wrestling. But we did find out in terms of contractual news and General Hospital and Beyond the Gates, John Lindstrom and Katie McLean have been cast on the Gates to premiere next week. And John Lindstrom is going to be playing a casino owner named Joey Anderson.
But we don't know if that means he's not doing H2.
Right. We don't know if it's recurring or if it's contracted.
Right. A few people have asked him, but I haven't seen an answer yet. I shot off an email to my good buddy Marianne over at GH, and I have not heard back yet, but I'm hoping to. So
yeah, I asked him as well.
We'll see.
And I haven't heard anything. So we'll see. I mean, it might be like a wild card situation. It does both. Obviously, it would be a little different considering, Beyond the Gates films in Atlanta compared to LA. But, who knows? I mean, Kevin has hardly been used recently. So, maybe it's just he's going to be, at a conference. But, who knows? We shall see. I did get the belt uploaded, so I'm going to go ahead and show that now. This is the belt that we're going to be giving to her, in giving to Laura Wright in April. So if you want to help, go ahead. It will be delivered this week, but go ahead and buymeacoffee.com/Suds Media, and you can help donate and show your support for Laura Wright as we meet her in April. And yeah, you're right, Gene. He hasn't been on in a while, so I mean, obviously they tape, I'm assuming 6 to 8 weeks in advance. That's he's obviously been on there. So we don't know anything about contractual status or anything. As soon as we find out, we'll let you know.
Yes. We're on it.
Thank you, Anya. I know she's gonna love it. I enjoy it. I'm glad. All right. So.
Oh, this is so exciting. Anya's with us from Germany.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Anya's in Germany. Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well,
she's wonderful. She's part of our Jarly group.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you for watching, everybody. We got 93 people currently watching live, so thank you all for tuning in. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and like this video. And also, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and give a reaction, whether it's a thumbs up or a heart or anything you want, or even if you want to laugh at us, whatever the case may be. We just want to know that you're enjoying it and you're interacting. So we've got Steve and Jean and Donna and Anya in the chat. Go ahead and join the chat as well. No matter where you're watching, you go ahead and post a comment and it'll come up on our chat box. But anyways, I'm going to leave it up to you, Angela. Where do you want to start this week in terms of going over our show that we love so much?
I don't know. There's been so much. No, you decide. I can't.
All right. Well,
I can't.
you know
It's
what?
just too much. It's
It's
sorry.
too
Go
much.
ahead.
All right. Well, I'm going to start because I actually went ahead and posted something this morning on Twix, and I wanted to get feedback from the ISC, the Internet Soap Community is what I call them, and a few people did, and basically it was more about what people are loving and hating about the show, and if they can
That's
respond
dangerous.
respectfully. Only a couple people did respond. Um, let's see. It's I want to say Letty 6718 said loving pretty much all things Jason, Danny, Jason Sasha, Jason Anna, Jason Tracy, loving Maxie, Gio, Emma, Isaiah and everyone, Jordan, Carly, Lucas, Lulu, Brooklyn, Gio, all things Tracy, Nina, Ava, Curtis going after Drew, Carly teaming up with Nina to go after Drew. Basically loving the entire show from what I see. One of our friends of the show, Chad, said that he's loving finally moving Cody away from Sasha toward Molly and seeing their classic old school soap couple banter, which was fun. Lulu and the chemistry she recently shared with Dante.
Mhm.
Hate that Kevin's leaving, but happy for John Lindstrom to get a better material. So he also said that he hates Willow and Drew. Willow being okay with Martin getting dirt on Michael, losing Charles Measure as Brennan, and he's loving Maxie, Carly, and Lucas scenes. Jason's confronting Cyrus. So, I mean, there's a lot there, and those are honestly the only people that responded. But there's so much hate about General Hospital. I can't believe it.
People post. Yet again, I'm taken back to what Frank called the online soap opera community. A hammer looking for a nail. They are more likely to bitch than praise. But I mean, I tell people all the time that if you don't like something, don't post about it. Because if you post about it, you're helping it. Mm-hmm. Any engagement is good engagement, but nobody believes me, so.
Because you're talking about it, regardless.
Exactly. And they don't believe you if you're talking about it when you say you're not watching.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about it, and they go, what kind of crazy person would be talking about a show they don't even watch anymore?
Right, exactly.
Well, that's a box of worms we know won't open, but yeah.
So Tinklu just posted Tina from Illinois joining you tonight. So thank you so much for coming in. Donna posting Robin with Jason kiss with Robin's mom, and Jason kissing Robin's sister, which is what happened today. Okay, so here's the thing. I still don't think that Jason and Sasha are going to be romantically involved. I think it's just a cover, as it was, especially when Sasha said, just go with it, and she went in to kiss him.
Yeah, and they didn't have that moment after the kiss where they're both like stunned how good it was or something like you usually see on a soap when that's because that's a trope with soaps. Mm-hmm. They didn't have that. I still say, and they wouldn't be keeping this animosity with Willow and Sasha.
No.
Because Willow, this is all just a placeholder till Michael gets back to town.
Agreed.
And I'm not saying that as a Charlie fan. I'm fine. That's my issue isn't as Jason being with somebody. I just don't see him ever being with somebody Michael was with because that's just not him. But that's, I have no issue with Jason having another romance. It's not that. I just don't think that that's where they're going with this.
Right. No, I agree with you. It's, they planned everything out. They told, they specifically told Danny, I'm pretending to be the baby's father. The baby's father is okay with it, but I'm not the father.
Yeah.
And one of the requirements was that I be completely honest with you. I think you're old enough to understand, and I wanted to make sure you knew the truth. And I can understand, I can understand Sasha wanting, Jason's help and everything, and I get that. But I still feel like it's just he's helping her out to help, because of Michael.
Well, he flat out said that, and he said today, even like today when she said we have to step it up, he said, if it's to help Michael, then I'll do it.
Right. I have to say, I laughed at the.
You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, no, I understand completely. I could definitely tell there's a delay. So folks, if you hear me talking and then it takes a little while for Angela to respond, I do know I can tell there's a delay.
Sorry guys, I have really bad wind.
It's not a problem.
Outside, not me personally.
So I will say that I laughed today with the scene with Carly and Sonny as they were talking about, about Sasha's pregnancy and that it's all over the place that, Jason is, was named the father, but he hasn't gone to talk to Carly yet or Sonny. And Sonny's like, well, just give him time and he'll tell you. Maybe he just hasn't wanted to say anything yet.
And I like how Carly immediately was suspicious that it was what he had done before.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And there's no way she's going to stay out of it. Because that's just not going to happen.
Exactly. No, you're right. She's not. Anya says, Vinny, I'm pretty much liking everything. I do wish Carly was not kept so much in the dark about Joss, Michael's baby, Sonny's heart, Drew fucking Nina. So I could understand all of that. People are talking about Willow's antagonism to Sasha. So I can't fault Sasha for wanting to rub it in Willow's face because they're all trying to make Jason, Sasha are trying to make sure that Michael, it doesn't look like Michael was unfaithful in the marriage because of the custody situation.
Right.
So that whole thing, and I know people don't like it. It's like, it's a different soap audience because when Jason and Carly did it, it was universally loved because
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Oh, really? Oh, no. Like people, you'll see things on Twitter where people will be like, "Oh, I loved Sarah's Carly and Tamara's Carly. It's just Laura's Carly." They're lying. They're absolutely lying. The Jason and Robin were a very popular couple, and even though they weren't together, people hated the Carly of it all because he had cheated on Robin for so long with Carly, and then he was besties with Carly. And then he's doing this big thing with Carly, which would have meant that he cheated on Robin again.
Yeah.
So, yes, Donna, they did call Tamara Braun chicken wings because of how she held her. And they made fun of how Sarah Brown flared her nostrils and, and her nose would sometimes run because she was such a great crier. And, oh, God, they were they've been horrible. They hated every Carly. But yeah, so no, they were the anti-Carlys were loud back then too. It was just on the message boards. We didn't have Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. It was the message boards. And oh my God, they hated it.
Well, that was before my time watching the show. So, and by the way, I see that Donna says I don't see Anya, but hey, Anya's watching on X, live on X on our on at Suds Media. So that's why when she posts a comment, it doesn't show on YouTube. But I could show it right here so that you see that it's her. And then Donna said, hey. So, a little bit of cross pollination between the different social media sites.
Yes.
I will say that I like this is almost turning into an umbrella story with the Sasha pregnancy, because not only was Willow, caught off guard by that kiss, but so was Anna. So was Mac. You see Mac's face.
Mac was hysterical, and he was like, "No, no, 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 no." So Mac hated because Mac raised Robin basically because Anna and Robert were presumed dead.
Yeah.
And he hated Robin and Jason. He hated it. So he's having flashbacks, and he's like, "My big brother's going to blame me for this." Because he's not here and I am. So I was cackling at Robert's no. That was so funny to me. Oh my God. Sorry. I was just that was great to me. I loved it.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Because it was just such a natural reaction. And I it's funny because not seeing Robin anymore, but realizing that Sasha is now part of the Scorpio family, I had forgotten about all of this. So, it's funny.
It's hysterical. It's so great. And I get that, I mean, I'm a shipper. I understand. People want their pairing, but you can't. I mean, I'm not going to tell you can't watch soaps for just a pairing, but you really shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because your heart's going to get broken every time. That's just how, I mean, it's just a fact.
Yeah.
They're going to break your heart.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Them's the breaks.
Aisha just posted this, and I got to say, when Jason says he doesn't think the PCPD is up to the job, he's really talking about Anna. It's about time you realize that about her.
Well, yeah, because she's the commissioner, so of course he is.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's true. Like, I like the conversation between Alexis and Jason, and how Alexis is like, you plan on killing Cyrus, don't you? And he's like, yeah. She's like, save him for me. But the whole context about it was he shouldn't go off and do that because Danny needs him.
Right. And she has no intention of killing Cyrus. Right. It was all just a, mind meld to try to mess with Jason. And I mean, I don't care if Jason kills Cyrus, but I was just like, oh, you're such a hypocrite. And here's my thing. I don't understand why he's saying you wouldn't do that. That's not what Alexis has killed numerous people.
Yeah.
And not in any kind of self-defense. She just kills them.
Right.
And Jason knows that because one of those people she killed, she let him and Brenda be framed for it and go on trial for it. So
was that Kiefer?
No, Alcazar.
Oh,
the first Alcazar.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why him and Brenda had to stay married because
so they didn't have to
so they wouldn't be forced to testify against each other. Yeah, it was insane. It was and she was their lawyer, but she knew all along she had done it.
Yeah.
But she was the only one.
Insane.
Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, I mean, I love me some Alexis. I really, really, really do. But my God, when she's a hypocrite, she is a hypocrite. Ugh,
and that's in her character. I mean, I will say this. The scene Alexis has been killing it recently. Ever since Sam's death,
Mm-hmm.
he has been knocking it out of the park.
Nancy Lee Grahn is a phenomenal actress. She is. And I know that, there are people who don't like her politics, and that's fine. I mean, I'm on the same side politically as she is, and sometimes I'm like, "Oh, girl, no, 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 no." But I mean, she's a phenomenal actress. Regardless, she is.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And Donna, I agree. I too saw Natasha peeking out there. Her Natasha Cassadine was in full effect.
Oh
Because
yeah.
that's the thing, is that people also forget that Alexis is a Cassadine.
Yes. Yep.
So
She is a Cassadine. Um, but she's been killing it, and just all the stories
mhm.
for all the people that are so unhappy about Kelly Monaco exiting GH and Sam's death and everything. The stories that have come from it have really been just on fire. Whether it's Cyrus, whether it's Dante, whether it's Lulu, whether it's Alexis and Christina and Molly. Just
it
fantastic.
has generated massive amounts of story for many. I mean, across the canvas. They really did use her death well.
Yeah.
As a storytelling mechanism.
Dare I say she had better stories in death than she had in life.
Well, there's no arguing that. That's just, you can't argue that.
At least over the past few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been great.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that, all the things that are encompassing around that story that's built out of it has been great.
Oh yeah.
We'll definitely get to Nina and Carly.
Yeah.
In a little bit, because
yeah,
I'm telling you, that was something that I never saw happening. But we'll get there.
I never saw it happening either, and a lot of that was I didn't want it to happen. But as long as they can stay adversarial, I will find a way to.
Because it's like that's kind of the thing, and what I've noticed is that Carly has been enemies with just about every female in the city, whether it's Alexis or Sam or Elizabeth, Nina. But eventually, it all comes back around to where now they can tolerate each other and have some kind of respect for each other. So I mean, is it really Carly, or is other people just being jealous of her? We may never know. I mean, I also
problem.
What?
You know that I think Carly's not the one that's the problem.
Very true. Very true.
Carly is a driver of story.
Yes.
The character of Carly, more so, that's the kind of character she is and always has been. She is the quintessential soap vixen.
Yep.
And she is the Erica Kane, the Jill, the Catherine. That's she's not she hasn't reached the age of those, but that's who she is. The Reva Shane.
Yep. Oh, Quiet Star. I agree. Willow has been getting on my nerves for a while.
Yeah, but again, I mean, I'm annoyed with her, but it's a love to hate, and at least she's not boring anymore. Before she was boring. Right. At least now it's, she's got a pulse.
Yeah, and she's generating some, she's generating some of that, emotion towards her, which is you want what you want out of a soap actor.
Exactly.
You want that emotion. Drew, Cameron Matheson. Apparently was told by somebody, whether his agent or Frank or whatever, that his character is a villain. So that, he's like when they were on the Jennifer Hudson show, he had to come out and say, my character is a villain. And it's very difficult for him to do that because he'd always been loved. But I had seen like video clips of Ryan Lavery and didn't look.
Oh, yeah. Ryan has had his moments of not being loved. I mean, definitely had his moments of absolutely not being loved. So
Yeah. But right now, Drew is the lead villain in Port Charles. You
mhm.
know, in terms of, and let me put it this way: he's not killing anybody. He's not, you know, he's just making you hate him for what he's doing to Willow, and what he did to Michael, and the whole Drew and Willow relationship. You know, it's just
I
one of those
hate him
things.
for what he did to Michael, but I don't think he did anything to Willow.
Well,
I really don't. He's
I
lying
think
to
he's
her
manipulative.
about his relationship with her mother,
Yeah,
but it wasn't, he didn't owe her fidelity.
right. Exactly.
So, and, according to Cameron, the story is that he stopped sleeping with Nina before he slept with Willow.
Yeah,
So he wasn't sleeping with them both at the same time.
right. That's very true. He did. He
They
was
weren't
sleeping with.
dating, so he wasn't cheating on her.
Right. He was sleeping with Nina when they kissed the first time, but after that,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I agree, Don. I think Drew has been manipulative in some aspects. Um, but he's a politician now. They're all manipulative.
Well, not only that, he's a Quartermain.
Right. Well, yeah, yeah,
He is embracing that side of him, which I love.
yes,
I do. He's very much acting like his father's son. And in a lot of ways, he's acting like AJ did.
yeah. And it's funny because back in the day, in the 80s, 90s,
Mhm.
in wrestling, all the bad guys, all the villains, all the heels used to, it would make strange bedfellows, and they would also team up to get the baby faces, the good guys. How many bad
Mhm.
guys teamed up to get Hulk Hogan out of the ring or what have you. Um, and the the way that Drew and Sidwell are kind of getting cozy, about
Yeah.
moving the moving the whatever
Yeah.
project to Pier 55 and 56, which are Sonny's piers, has me, thinking back to that point because they're both bad guys. So of course they're going to team up to take down the good guy, which
Um,
are
yes. What's really funny about those peer things is you weren't watching back then, but a lot of, people in our chat were. I'm sure you guys remember when Jason was in charge and the Quartermains wanted to develop those peers.
uh-huh.
And Carly called the dock strike.
Okay.
He was threatening Edward with a dock strike.
Uh-huh.
And Carly was trying to help and actually called it when it wasn't supposed to be. She told one of the guys, and oh my God, Jason was so mad. But it's funny that they've circled around that again, or back around to that again
Yeah,
with the.
with the Esplanade. Thank you, Donna.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I really feel like it's great because they both have their own reasons for
Mhm.
wanting the Esplanade on the piers.
Yes.
Sidwell's willing to financially back it, because he wants to hit Sonny and Sonny's business, and
Hmm.
Drew wants to get back at Jason and Sonny because of Michael and because of everything. So, which honestly, Jason did punch Drew, but how did Jason really cross Drew at all?
Because it's the same reason that Drew is unreasonably angry at Carly. You know what I mean? She
Yeah,
hasn't done anything to him, and
right.
he dumped her. She didn't even do anything. He preemptively did it. I mean, it wasn't that he was wrong, but now he is angry at her. I don't know,
Mhm.
for not chasing him, and he's angry at Jason for being that guy to Carly.
Yeah,
His issue isn't with Sonny. His issue is with Jason. And he told Anna that he doesn't have a problem if she, prosecutes his brother.
Yeah.
You know, and true, Sonny, you know, and the whole, you know, he doesn't have a problem if she prosecutes Sonny too, but for Jason or for Drew, this is about Jason. He
Right.
feels wronged by Jason. He feels wronged by Carly. And, you know, honestly, it's funny that Sonny's the innocent bystander in a way.
Yeah.
Collateral damage.
But it's I think it's funny how, you know, Sidwell's got his hands in everything now. Like he's coming in and just making a big splash.
Yeah.
You know, not only is he teaming up with Drew for the Esplanade project, but also, you know, Lucy's trying to bring him in as a new investor into deception. And we find out that Natalia and Sidwell were married. We called that a couple of weeks ago. And Sidwell is tracking Natalia, not Sonny.
Not Sonny, Natalia.
Natalia, and we found that out as well.
And it's interesting. It's so fun. Lucy, Lulu literally told her that he had kidnapped and tried to kill Lucky, and Lucy is undeterred by that. Which,
Yeah,
like,
Lucy's a trip though.
Oh, she is. Lucy is on her own planet. She cracks me up, but yeah, she's just like, yeah, but you know, deception needs money, so
Yeah.
we're gonna go ahead and let bygones be bygones.
That's hilarious. Just the idea of Lucy, finding all this out and still wanting his money, like, and then we find out that Jordan is going to kind of be undercover and try to get close to Sidwell and get some information from him by wearing a wire.
Right.
I think that's going to end up backfiring in her face somehow.
Oh God, I think she's going to end up getting hurt. Yeah, or something. Yeah.
Could it be Isaiah to the rescue?
Maybe. Could also be Curtis. He's involved in all this.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, they've had Isaiah and Jordan flirting around, but they also seem to do a little thing with Isaiah and Christina.
Yep. We saw Isaiah and Molly kind of flirt a little bit as well. I seem to think that Isaiah's kind of like a Patrick Drake, where he's flirting with just all the girls, because it almost looked like he was flirting with Elizabeth as well.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not the same. He doesn't have the same player vibe that Patrick had.
Right.
I don't think, but I think they're, testing him around. He's, the new guy.
Yep.
Testing him around kind of thing. I totally lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. It didn't go all the way to the caboose.
Not a problem.
It's February vacation, so the kids are here constantly.
Well, I should ask you a question. Why don't the Deception girls know about Sasha's kidnapping? Because they kept it under wraps.
They kept it under wraps, and she doesn't work at Deception anymore and wasn't when she was kidnapped, so they wouldn't have noticed that she was missing.
Right. So they just, nobody really knew about that.
Right.
They kept it out of the newspapers. They kept it out of the even the police department. Anna was rogue, doing that with Jason. They never filed a police report or anything. Although, I mean, there was a bomb that went off. So, I mean, there could have been some kind of presence there after the fact, but it was never known that Sasha was taken.
Right. And she wasn't working at Deception then, so it wasn't something that they would have known.
Right.
And she makes a confession on Friday, and I'm wondering if she's going to tell somebody the truth about the baby or something. I don't know.
Agreed. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. At some point, she's got to say the truth somehow. It has to get out.
Well, I mean, already, the fact that Danny knows
Yes. Yep.
is already, you know, I think this is going to be one of those, it's going to end up being one of those worst kept secrets that everybody knows except for Willow.
Of course. Yeah.
And then it'll explode.
Yeah.
You know.
Agreed.
So.
Yeah, it's definitely something where um now I lost my train of thought. Anyways, let's kind of move on.
Yes.
All right, let's kind of cut we'll kind of move on to another storyline. Um Ava and Rick, and
Love them.
I am loving them as a couple. Absolutely.
Yes.
I am enjoying them as a couple, and I really like the fact that they're hooking up now.
Yes.
Now that now that the custody case is over, because Sonny came through and basically offered Ava 50-50. Oh, he tried to sneak in 60-40, but she wasn't going.
I know, right? And she's like, no. And the thing is that Rick was right about this. Rick was 100% right about his brother. And then, Sonny's going to have the heart attack or something, and everybody's going to know, and Rick's just going to be giving Ava the side eye, like, yeah, I told you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
So Ava and Sonny are talking. Sonny ends up, offering her 50-50. All this is because of his heart problem. He doesn't
exactly.
want
This is not out of any. Yeah, he pretended that it was about Avery, and he was being the bigger person. I liked Carly today asking him what was really going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she knew. Yeah, she's just like, yeah, there's no taking the high road with you. Who are you kidding?
Yeah, no, not at all.
I
want to thank the 175 people who are watching live. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and get notified if you're on YouTube or X or anywhere. Just make sure that you're liking everything and interacting so you get the algorithm up for us. YouTube.com/@Suds-Media. If you're not watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. After this show tonight, after Monday Night Raw goes off the air on Netflix, the Raw Rebound, I believe it's the Raw Rewind. Yeah, the Raw Rewind will be coming up on many of these same channels. Coming up from the people of Chairshot Sports, Chairshot Media. But before we get into any more current GH information, we're going to go back, and we've actually got a brand new opening to the clip, and we're going to go to this day in GH history.
We're sending you back to the future.
Today in General Hospital history, we are going back to the future with it. April 1st, 1963 is when the show debuted. So we're not going back that far, but Angela's got some history for us to learn.
February 11th through 17th. All right, let's start with February 11th. The year was 1983. Alan had an affair with Susan Moore and begat Jason. Unbeknownst to them, they had also begat Drew, but we don't find that out till later. But on February 11th, 1983, Susan Moore was shot and killed. And there was a big whodunit around it. Mm-hmm. Jason went to live at the Quartermains, and he had to live in the gatehouse until Monica was ready to accept him as a toddler.
And now they're the closest too.
Yes. And then on the same day in 2013, Jeannie Francis came back as Laura after being gone 5 years.
Yep.
February 12th, 2010. Michael goes to Mac at the PCPD and tries to confess to killing Claudia Zaccara. But Mac doesn't believe him. He thinks he's covering for Sonny. He wasn't.
That idea.
He wasn't, but it wasn't a bad guess on Mac's part, but 2013. I'm sorry, the 13th of February 2015, Olivia finds out she's pregnant after her one-night stand with Julian. And that, of course, is Leo, who Ned loves and has adopted as his own.
Yep.
Valentine's Day, February 14th. This was one of my favorites. 1995. Kevin and Lucy were together, and he gave her Sigmund the Duck as a Valentine's gift. Everybody remember Sigmund? Those who were watching back then? Yes, he gave her a duck as a live duck as a Valentine's gift, and his name was Sigmund.
Somehow that just fits Lucy.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And in 2019, on that same day, Franco and Liz had their jailhouse wedding.
Yep, I remember that. That's when Franco was under arrest originally for the killings that Ryan was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Franco started to go undercover to try to lure Ryan, out of hiding, so to speak. I remember that.
February 15th, 2013 was the last we saw of Brendan Barash as Johnny Zakara. He went to jail for killing people, got a 20-year sentence. I say, in soap opera times, he's done his time. He's definitely done enough to get out with good behavior.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's time that Johnny came home.
And Brandon Barash is not anywhere currently. He's got news run at days. So he's available.
Yes. February 16th, 1999. Sweet little teenage Liz and Lucky made vows to each other in an abandoned church, had their little non-wedding vows, and then Lucky burned up in a fire soon after, but they were madly in love as teenagers, young love, puppy love. And in 2023, on February 16th, Trina confronted Portia about who her father was.
Yeah.
At the wedding reception. And now to today in General Hospital history. 2003. Jax did one of my favorite things that many people do. Dumped Brenda at the altar.
All right.
She had kissed Sonny, and Carly had seen it, and Carly told, and Jax dumped her at the altar. It was beautiful.
Fantastic.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for today in General Hospital history, Professor Angela. So kind of moving on to Valentine's Day, we really haven't gotten too much of Valentine's in the air this year. Although tomorrow.
Tomorrow is Valentine's. It's funny, they actually put that on the breakdowns when they sent them out.
Yep.
They don't usually do that. They just put the episode number, the day of the week, and the date, but they put in parentheses next to Tuesday, Valentine's night.
And
they never do that.
Well, people are up in arms.
Yeah.
For those of you who are Canadians, you got the episode, tomorrow's episode early. So there were a couple of spoilers that went out. And the biggest spoiler is that Lucky is going to be temporarily recast tomorrow for a little while. It's going to be Guy something or other. Guy Wilson taking over the part for Jonathan Jackson. And oh my God, people are up in arms.
First, a little bit of trivia. Do you know who he played on General Hospital previously?
I do not.
Teenage Luke in a flashback.
Oh.
He did. He played Teenage Luke in a flashback years ago.
Was he the one that played Luke during the time when they were kind of going with the Fluke storyline?
No, because I think it was he was with Tracy, I think, at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yet again, this is people looking for something to complain about when they don't understand things.
Yeah. And, somebody, it's funny because scrolling through Twitter, of course, somebody said, "Oh, this is all Frank's fault." The fact there's a recast for Lucky.
Yeah.
And you know what? Shit happens, people. Whether the actor gets sick or there's a pre-planned leave or whatever, it happens.
Yes.
And for one actor not being able to make it, they're not going to stop production for that.
Now, there are times that they can switch things around.
Correct. Yes.
But it depends. There are a lot of moving parts. So we've talked before a little bit about how they do block taping. They tape by set because the only permanent set is the hospital. Right. The rest of the sets are not up all the time. So they'll have Liz's house set up and tape everything that's going to be taped on that set for a month.
Right.
In the same couple days. So that's one of the issues with pushing things if an actor is going to be out sick. Another issue is the recurring actors. So, Liz and Lucky are having their first kiss. Well, not first kiss, but first kiss this round tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep. But there are recurring actors that are going to be in the scenes before and after them. Mm-hmm. Aiden and Tobias, neither of whom are under contract. Cyrus afterwards. All at Liz's house, none of them on contract. They're all recurring. So those actors have to be scheduled weeks in advance. With the contract actors, they are given their schedule. They don't have a choice. I mean, if they're sick, they're sick, and that's how it goes. Yeah. But they're given their schedule. They don't have a choice. But the recurring actors every month submit their conflicts to GH, and GH schedules around them. And schedules for when they're going to be bringing them in, and they'll do a bunch of scenes with them in different, and it's all very Lego-like, fitting the blocks where they, and, so they'll have those sets up that they're going to be using those recurring actors on and do all of those scenes in that period of time. So if a contract actor can't be there, they have to get a temp. And they have temps like pretty much ready to go for every contract actor. They have somebody they can call and say, "Hey, can you be there tomorrow?" They have a few people for each one. But that's why, that's one of the reasons, when Michael found out about Drew and Willow kissing, it was temp Michael. Right. Because Wally Kurth is recurring and he was in those scenes. Yep. So they had to do it. They, there are just things they cannot change. And this was one of them. JJ will be back. Yeah. They said he'll be back this month. We're halfway through, he'll be back. He was sick. It happens.
Yeah.
We've all called out sick from work.
Yeah. Everybody just has to chill out, Right. It's just so many people just have a hop on issue. So again, there's people that say, "Oh, General Hospital is going to be canceled," and once the Beyond the Gate starts, GH's days are numbered. And it's like, no. There's enough. First of all, every soap can survive in this day and age. Because and the fact that there's a brand new soap starting does not mean that one of the other soaps has to go away. It means a revitalization to the genre.
Exactly. And these, people can, it's a free country. If you want to hope for General Hospital's cancellation, that's fine. But, the fact that you want something canceled because you no longer enjoy it, even though a lot of other people still enjoy it, really work on yourself, babe. Take some time, reflect.
Exactly.
I'm planning on watching both.
Yeah,
General Hospital is my favorite. I'm adding both. As I said, we watched the behind the scenes. We've added that to our to our live view this week, and we're gonna add Beyond the Gates, Behind the Gates next.
And we've, I've said it for my DVR as well. My goal is to watch it. Watch them both.
Mhm.
I wish I had more time to fit in Days and Bold and why not. I just don't. Steve, you're lucky they're not out at the same time in your area, so that's good.
Yeah.
Um,
They're not in a lot of places. I mean, people think that they are, but they're not. In some areas they are. In most of a lot of them they're not. And
yeah.
that's
Well, yeah, because even GH, it airs 2 p.m. Eastern here on the East Coast, but
Mhm.
other places it airs different times. Once you everything almost goes based upon East Coast time. So
And
after that, it does tend to get a little dicey.
even on the East Coast, GH airs at 3 o'clock in New York.
Oh, still?
Not all East Coast is at 2 o'clock. Some of it's at 3. Yeah,
Wow.
and that's why when you look at that's why I always laugh at people with their, interpreting the ratings because they don't know what it is they're looking at.
Yeah,
And I'm excited for Beyond the Gates. I really am.
I am
But
too.
I don't think they're going to be blowing numbers out of the water for, I really don't.
No,
Because
it's
they're
going
a
to
new
take
soap.
time.
It's going to take some time for them to get their footing. And,
Yeah, it's going to
see what
take time to
happens.
build the audience, get the stories, started. Everybody thinks
Mhm.
that just because it's brand new, it's going to come in with a bang. And, yeah, it's centered around a black family when every other soap is centered around mainly white people, but they have diverse casts.
Mhm.
Whereas, even though Beyond the Gates has a diverse cast, it's centered around a black wealthy family and whatever. It's new. It's something new for the genre. It's
Right.
gonna take time.
Right.
AEW, for those of you who are wrestling fans, again, AEW started in 20, let's see, they're in their 6 year, 2019, and they're struggling. They had their honeymoon period, and
Mhm.
they're still trying to get their footing. Nobody,
Yeah.
you really don't get a footing until at least 5 to 10 years if you're planning to, be here long term. So Michelle Valjean is a brilliant person when it comes to soaps. She's
Mhm.
got an all-star writing team,
Yeah.
including Gregory Martin from the Bay, Ron
Mhm.
Carlivati from, who was with GH at one point, went to dates, been all over the place. Um,
Mhm.
and many other, Bob Guza, I think, is part of
Yep.
Beyond the Gates as well, who is well known for GH. So they've got an all-star writing team. They've got a great cast. I'm looking forward to watching it and just to see where it goes.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you're here to watch for GH anyway. So let's So GH came out blatantly to say today that Cyrus is the one who's injecting people with digitals. He kind of knew anyways, but
I'm still here. Hold on. I'm just
okay.
fixing my
But we actually saw him with the vial. We actually saw him with the syringe and getting you set up for the next victim who we don't know.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Yes, we do because it was leaked because Canada got Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
He shows up at Elizabeth's at the end of tomorrow's
so
episode.
he's gonna go straight to Elizabeth's house instead of Well,
yeah, it's her he's trying to take out, I think.
Is it go? I don't want to see Jeff Kober leave, but I know they're gonna have some kind of a whodunit mystery about who killed Cyrus.
I don't know that they're going to kill him off. I'm not 100% sure they're going to kill him off. I'm not 100% sure that they're not going to put him in prison. I mean, it's possible that they kill him off. I'm just not convinced that that's how it goes down yet.
Yeah, I love the character and I love the twist that he has because every villain thinks they're doing good. That's what makes them a good villain. Cyrus thinks he's doing God's work. He sees the people who have, who are sick, who are ailing. He sees the good in what he's doing. He killed Sam to make up for Lulu going into the coma because of his bomb. To get Lulu and Dante back together because Sam was in the way.
Right.
Fucked up thinking, but that's the justification of a villain.
Right.
He killed off Dex. I don't know why, honestly, because he was alone in this world, and Dex was kind of getting onto him. The woman with dementia at Turning Woods, because she had dementia, he was putting her out of her misery.
Yeah.
There was a couple other patients that he did that because he was being the angel of mercy, which we've seen those kinds of villains. Cyrus thinks he's doing God's work, and that is why he's just such a great villain.
I mean, he's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. I think that Dex is alive as well. But
I agree.
We'll see.
All right, so I do have to question this because, again, somebody on Twitter said that they've been killing people left and right, and Dex should be going over, or Evan Hoffer should be going over to Beyond the Gates. And I tried to let him know that per the credits, he's still under contract to GH.
Yes.
However, this person said that for an entire year while Steve Burton was on Y&R, he was still in the credits on GH. So I wasn't watching back then.
He wasn't. What they're thinking is that on the Cable Guide spoilers, Steve was not on the credits on GH when he was on Y&R. That is absolutely 100% not true. What they're thinking is the Cable Guide spoilers, General Hospital, it says starring. He was still on there when he was at Days of Our Lives, but those are not the official credits. Steve Burton was not in the credits when he was on Young and the Restless. That wasn't a thing that happened.
All right, so I just wanted to kind of clarify that. The fact that Evan Hoffer is still in the credits on the weekly, on every Friday, the GH official credits, means that he's still under contract to GH.
Yes.
So, and he's still doing the Zoom events and everything with the cast. You saw as soon as Charles Measure dropped out, he was taken off and replaced. So, it's Evan Hoffer is still with GH.
I think so too. It's just a matter of when we're going to find that out.
And last week we mentioned on our show that Kelly Monaco had possibly been signed by another soap. Stories have been coming out to the contrary, saying that she hasn't been.
Yes, but I'm not sure. I'm still not ready to call that news that I dropped not true.
Okay.
Because if the shows weren't ready to announce it, they're not going to confirm it to somebody. He said that he reached out to the show PR, and they said no. Well, of course, if they're not ready to,
if they were not ready to announce it,
right, they're not gonna tell anybody. So we'll see what happens. And Maurice Bernard posted something today too that made me think that it could be more than likely true as well, because he posted on his Twitter. It was just a post he made. It wasn't replied to anything. He said that, he gets asked all the time to have Kelly Monaco on, and he reached out to her, but he doesn't push anybody and people do it in their own time. And he said she has a lot on her plate right now.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a job to me.
Yeah.
But we'll see. That's one of those things that time will tell who's right. I'm not engaging in any arguments with anybody about it. I dropped what I had heard.
Yeah.
All of us who get information get it wrong sometimes. So I'm not going to say that it's impossible, but I'm not ready to say yet that my information was wrong. We'll see.
And to be honest, if this person only reached out to one show because they specifically said she's not going to Days, that there are other soaps out there. So I mean, she could be going to another one, and Days may not be the one. So again, we don't know for sure. The information that I trust Angela's information over anybody. So once the shows confirm it, then we'll figure. Then we'll know for sure. And you're right, Gene. Days does tape so far ahead, like
6 to 8 months.
Yeah, 6 to 8 months, which is crazy. You're still 2 months away from the new head writers for Days,
and he's been writing on another soap for months already. Yeah,
exactly. So, anyways, So we still have let's see, a little bit to talk about. Let's talk about Cody and Molly up on the roof. I loved that scene.
I did too. It was so typical. It was total soap trope, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I loved when he took off his pants.
Yeah.
And she was just like, wait. And she's like, I wear long johns. It was just adorable, the whole thing.
And I liked at the end after they're rescued. I want to go ahead and announce we have 200 people watching live. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, get notified, react if you're watching on Facebook. Join in the chat. Even if you're watching, on a replay, go ahead and comment because it helps with the algorithm as well. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much for tuning in. We still got more to go over. Yep. I did. They're chem testing Molly and Cody.
Absolutely. I think that they're more than chem testing them. I think that there's a chance that they've decided on them because,
And I like it because I'm sorry, not for nothing. TJ is a good guy, but I like the yin and yang dynamic of Cody and Molly.
Well, that's the thing. TJ and Marley were those two good people that are boring.
Right. The doctor and the lawyer, the two people that are just, they're really good. Yeah, it was a little different. Instead of being married, they were, life partners, but, I like the idea of Cody and Molly. And I'm sorry, I laughed when she went up to him and said, I never thought I'd be saying this, but thank you for taking off your pants.
Yes.
It
was adorable. Yes. Yeah. And I really love Molly and Cody, but I also was really intrigued by Lulu and Cody. But I knew that Lulu and Cody, even if they do go there, they'll never be the long-term pairing because it's going to be Lulu and Dante. But they already have Lulu and Dante being all kinds of cute together. And they have more cute tomorrow. They were adorable.
Yeah. No, Lulu and Dante in Bobby's, when Jocelyn has to leave for whatever reason, because she's going to
Chase.
That's what she had to go down to
police station. Yeah.
Police station, right? Lulu said, "Oh, I've worked here before. I could do it." And sure, no, she's over her head.
It was so funny, but I really loved those scenes with Lulu and Joss. Would you two stop? I loved the scenes with Lulu and Joss. I loved when Lulu was smiling at her and a Spencer behind the counter. I really loved that.
I did too. Yeah, no, I loved.
I love my Spencer family stuff. I really do.
And it's nice that they're rebuilding the Spencer family, and they're bringing the bonds together with Lucky and Lulu and Joss and Carly, like the next generation of the Spencers.
Yep.
Yeah, Lucas.
Yes. And I loved Lucas and Isaiah were really funny too with the scene with Cody and they're standing outside talking and then these pants, they're like, geez.
Yeah. Watch out.
Pants. Okay. But then Lucas and Maxie, their cousin night out was really cute. Then them interrupting Carly and Brennan.
Yes. Yep. And the fact that, of course, Maxie is warning Carly to stay away from Brennan. And Lucas was warning Brennan.
Lucas was warning Brennan. Maxie was warning. Well, Lucas was warning Carly. Maxie was warning Brennan. Right. Because, Maxie has this whole WSB hatred because, her daddy abandoned them.
Yeah.
And her mom for a long time because of the WSB.
You're right. Yep, you're right.
So she's just like, you're not people who are dependable life partners.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So if y'all watch today's episode, and I know folks, we're jumping all over the place, but we're covering the information. If you watch today's episode, Willow goes into the police department and finds out that, well, she got a phone call while talking to Martin and finds out that her car was towed from the Quartermains because it was parked on the street.
I love Tracy Quartermain. Her
I
petty
wish we could have seen
nose.
that phone call, though.
I know,
really wish we could
but
have seen.
her petty knows no end.
Yes,
No end at all. It was hysterical.
and just how, you know, the conversation between Willow and Mac at the police station, and Willow saying, "Well, I still have the minivan that Michael got us because of the family stuff, but my other car was still in the garage at the Quartermains, and somebody moved it and put it on the street, and then it was towed away, and and impounded." So just the idea of, the fact that Tracy had somebody go through, because she didn't do it herself, but she had somebody go through the trouble of moving the car from the garage to the street and then having it towed. Just and the way the Willow said, but the car is special to me. It's a hybrid. And just like,
Girl, let your Prius go.
yeah, it's like, that's like total first world problems. Like,
Yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah, I've got a car, but this car is special to me, so I have to get it out of impound. Like,
oh God, yeah, that was really. I love petty Tracy.
I would have loved to see that scene though, with Tracy on the phone. Anyways, so Rick and Ava, before they hooked up, they were walking through the park, and Rick and Elizabeth were walking through the park and saw Ava and Christina getting into some kind of a tiff because Ava wanted to take Avery. Christina, had the girls out, and her Avery and Donna working on a project at the playground, and Ava comes up and wants to spend time with Avery.
And Ava had thought that it was going to be Joss there with the girls.
Right.
Because that's what, and she figured Joss would be the softer touch.
Yep.
But she ended up with Christina. Not at all a soft touch.
No. And I'm sorry, but that whole thing was so convoluted because, first of all, Christina, I understand where Christina's coming from, saying, the girls are my responsibility right now. Jocelyn asked me to watch them because she had to work, and I'm sorry, but I don't have the authority to allow Avery to go with you. Because whatever the custody agreement is with Sonny, I understand it to a point. But all she had to do was, say, let me make a phone call, and as long as it's okay with Pilar or whoever's watching the girls afterwards,
right,
I'll let her know that Avery's with her mother. But where's the drama?
Right, but the thing is that Christina, for Christina, it wasn't about her not having the authority to do it. It was that, like what she said, if I don't get to have my daughter, Ava doesn't get to have hers.
Right. Again, it's that level of...
It's entire just, retaliatory stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's when Rick and Elizabeth come walking through, and Rick senses that this might not be a good thing, and he gets Ava out of there while Elizabeth and Christina are talking, and that way cooler heads can prevail, and Rick could have some hanky panky with Ava.
And it's funny because Liz didn't think it was that big of a deal. And then, she looks up from her phone with Christina's crazy and is just like, okay, I'm dealing with a crazy person here.
Yes.
Alrighty then.
Kate Manzi has been fantastic in the role of Christina. So I'm enjoying, just everything. Yeah, she could overact a little bit. I will admit that, especially with the crying scenes. But
It's a soap opera. They can overact. I just wish she could cry.
Yeah, exactly.
She's not a great crier is the problem. She can make the sounds and the face, but there's nothing.
Right.
There's no actual moisture coming from her face, and
right.
that with me, I'm like, come on, just give her some glycerin then.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so let's kind of go to our headline: Teenager confronts convicted murderer at Charlie's pub.
Yeah.
So the fact that Cyrus Trudeau is the number one suspect or a suspect in all these murders, especially killing Sam, has been the least protected news, everywhere. Yeah. Chase tells Dante, and Dante goes down to the PCPD to find out what's going to be happening. But all the while, Rocco overhears Chase telling Dante and goes to tell Danny and say, "Hey, your mom was murdered," and Cyrus Trudeau is a suspect.
I have a real issue. I mean, I go back and forth. The whole Alexis telling Danny. I could understand it if her thing. If she had said his father's out of town,
yep.
He could hear it some other way. But it wasn't that. She actively tried to keep Jason from finding out.
Yeah.
So I have a real issue with her telling Zanny at all.
Yeah.
It really wasn't her place at all.
Nope.
And, she set him on that path as well. And yes, he would have found it all out from Rocco.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't. And not only did she tell him, she tells him, and then they just drop him off at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Knowing Jason's not there.
Yep. Which was
I was just crazy. I'm not sure exactly what you thought was going to happen here, but I think this was entirely predictable.
That was a very discombobulated type of scene. Like, you're going to tell your grandchild his mother was murdered and then be like, okay, well, now it's time to take you home. Like,
right.
This kid's a teenager. I get it. They process things a little differently. But wouldn't you say, hey, how are you feeling? Do you want to stay here tonight? We can make arrangements. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right. Exactly.
Like that.
Exactly. But it was we'll stop at Noodle Buddha on the way home, and that'll make everything all good because,
Chinese food always does. I mean,
yeah. And I mean, I believe that to be true. However, not on something on a scale of, your mother was murdered and didn't just die naturally.
Yeah.
That's
so at this point, Danny's already kind of hyped up on emotions because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rocco says, just to let you know, Cyrus Trudeau is a suspect in your mom's murder. And
real quick though.
Yeah.
When Kai and Emma took that photo and Cyrus was so perfectly in the back, did anybody else immediately know that photo was going to play into something?
I thought so, but yeah. And just so happens that, Rocco sees him on social media. And because Dave's like, well, where can I find Cyrus? Hey, here's a photo.
Yeah, it popped up on Danny's phone because they followed Kai's social media and it popped up and he's like, hey, he's at Charlie's. That was so funny.
Yeah, that was funny. So Danny goes down to Charlie's, goes in there, and he confronts Cyrus, saying, why did you kill my mother? But meanwhile, Jason gets home, and Rocco says, I think I did something stupid. You think? So Rocco tells Jason that he told Danny that Cyrus was a suspect. Mm-hmm. And Jason goes right down there, right down to Charlie's. And I loved what Jason said to Cyrus is, get your hands off my son. If you touch my son again, they'll never find the body.
Now, we in our little daily Zoom chat, we had a laugh. A few of us all had the same thought when Jason pointed at Cyrus and said, "Get your hands off my son." And it's funny because it kind of harkens back to what it reminded us of was from Back to the Future.
Get your damn hands
Hey,
off
you, get
Yep.
your damn hands off her.
her.
The
Yeah.
pointing, I think, was what did it. It was so, all of us were just cracking up laughing about that. Hey, you,
Yep.
get your damn hands off her. I think Ava thinks Joss would be a soft touch because, like, Joss invited Ava to stay that time to have dinner with her and the girls when Carly was out of town, and she had the girls that night at Carly's so that she could spend time with Avery.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she thinks Joss would be open to it if, it was what Avery wanted.
Yes.
So
So and again, and Josh would be just a little bit more, accepting. So I
yes,
get that.
Joss doesn't blame Ava for her going out a window. So
Right, exactly. All right. We talked about it a little bit. Did you ever think that Nina would apologize to Carly for the whole Sonny Mike situation in Nixon Falls and Nina admitting that she was wrong?
no, but I also don't think Nina meant it. So I think that it was just trying to get Carly to help her.
Really?
I don't think she was sincere in that at all. No. And I'm fine with that. She doesn't have to be.
Okay.
It's not me bagging on Nina. I don't think that she is actually remorseful for it. I think it was 100% about wanting Carly's help.
Oh yeah. No, I get it. I understand that completely. Do you think that Jocelyn is going to get hurt by going after Cyrus?
I don't know. I could see this all go in a few ways.
All right.
So we know that Liz and Lucky kiss, and then he leaves, and he forgets the piece of cake he was going to bring with him that Aiden baked. So when there's a knock on her door, she just opens it with the cake thinking it's Lucky. Cyrus, and he's there to get her.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now, Lucky could come back.
Yep.
We know that Portia and Isaiah are working to save somebody's life this week in the breakdowns. So I think somebody's getting that shot of Digitalis. But I'm wondering if it's Liz or Lucky in a struggle with Cyrus, or if it's Cyrus in a struggle with Liz or Lucky. And then the Digitalis doesn't take effect right away.
Right.
So we know Cyrus, according from the promo, goes to the cabin and finds Joss there. But he could do that with Digitalis in his system.
Right.
He might have an antidote there or something. You know what I mean? So, or, he could not have injected any of them. He could, but he could inject Joss with it. Or she could shoot him. Or there's 9 bazillion ways this could play out.
Absolutely.
And I'm so excited to see what they are.
I am too. Do you think and here's the thing, I really love that they brought up Austin's name, Austin Gatlin Holt.
Yeah.
They brought the name up, and they are kind of tying up that loose end. Do you think that Austin is still alive?
No, I don't think Austin's alive, but I think they're going to say Cyrus killed him.
All right, that makes sense.
Or had him killed, yeah. Because that's the, he's at the, he knows where Austin's house was and yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, I think that they're just going to say that he either killed him or had him killed to tie that up.
Makes sense.
But then there'll be something in the cabin they find.
Yeah. No, it makes total sense completely.
I don't know that they'd have Jaws get hurt I don't know that they'd do that to Carly.
Okay. Well, I mean, either that or they could keep Jocelyn in lockup. So, because,
Well, she's not in jail now.
No.
And I mean, I know a lot of people were upset that Carly didn't get called, but I could understand Joss not calling Carly.
Right.
Or Jason. Because
also an
she
adult.
doesn't want, exactly, she doesn't want them to know what she got arrested for.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Are you liking Kai and Trina?
yes.
Okay. I am too.
And let me tell you, that boy showed more loyalty and stand-upness to her than in that scene at Charlie's, where she told him that she had than Spencer did their entire relationship. She told him she had a problem with Cyrus, and he has his arm in a sling. He could be paralyzed, but he went over there and was ready to throw that man out by his beard.
Yes.
Because him being there made Trina uncomfortable.
Yep. I loved it.
It was amazing.
I am. Here's the thing. I think that a lot of men are liking, and I'm speaking for me. I like the Kai character because, regardless of the fact he's a football player, he's a real dude who who stands up. He works out. He's a real manly man, and and he's a young guy, so he understands that he's chivalrous, but also he's kind of like I can't even think of an analogy right now, but the fact is that he's a really good guy, and he's working hard to get the girl.
Yes.
Now that he's met the girl, and he's getting into art, and he's getting into he's doing all this for Trina now that he knows his football playing days are over.
I also heard people complaining, because of course they're complaining today, when Trina said to Joss, "This is your first Valentine's without Dex."
Yeah.
And people were like, "It's also her first Valentine's without Spencer." Her and Spencer weren't together for Valentine's.
No.
They never shared a Valentine's, so it's not the same.
Yeah, exactly. And not to mention, it's, of course, people are going to complain about that, and you got to think about it this way. Dex just died. Spencer's been gone for over a year at this point. So, it's, yes, grief, has no time limit on it, but Trina's already moved on from Spencer somewhat and let herself open up to Kai. So, and the fact that, Joss is kind of egging her on, saying, "Hey, why don't you, make sure respond? Yes, I want to go out, and I'll meet you, at the Savoy and all this." So Trina has moved on from Spencer, folks. Sprina is dead. Put the fork in it. They're done.
Yes.
The timer popped up.
Yes.
So that pairing is gone.
And they could someday recast Spencer, bring him back. Of course they could.
Right.
And, and that's very soapy. But for right now, it's Trina and Kai.
Yep. And I like them together.
I do too.
I like the combination. Here's the thing. I like that they're both trying to learn about what the other has interest in. Trina is not a football fan, but she's learning the sport because she knows Kai was a player and loves the game. Kai was never really that studious. He had somewhat of an interest in art, but now he's trying to learn more because of Trina.
Right.
I love it. It is a classic love story.
And he respects her. He's not doing the crap to her that Spencer did for well over a year. There's no girlfriend in the wings that he's hiding from her while he romances, as of yet anyway, but I don't think that'll be what happens with them. So I think they are a very sweet, burgeoning love story on the show.
The only person I could honestly see getting in the way is his friend Quinn, you know, because she's taking Kai's
Right.
focus off of football. And hopefully we get to see a couple of scenes between Kai and Quinn where Kai kind of puts it out saying, I'm not able to play anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, he told him that already.
Right.
When he went in the hospital, he told him that, and he said that he had to, he was the one who had to take over, being the leader for the team, and
Yep. But
so.
again, he blames Kai's injury on Trina because Kai wasn't focused on the game.
And the thing is, I liked Kai when that was brought up, and he said that before his injury, he was having the game of his career.
Yeah.
He was having the best game that he had ever played. So, yeah, I like how that was debunked.
Exactly.
That it wasn't her. Yeah, I could see, Quinn being, trying to, come between them, but I think that'll also be a moment of Kai standing up for Trina.
Yeah.
I think it'll be more him proving himself to Trina as, this amazing guy who really, yeah.
All right. Anything else that we missed? We saw the meeting with Drew and Laura and Curtis and Jordan today about the about the project, and they're going back and forth on it. But we also saw Curtis and Jordan and Sidwell meeting earlier in the week, or last week, I should say.
Right.
Curtis is trying just to get a gauge of Mr. Sidwell, and he doesn't like what he sees.
No.
He's telling Jordan to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, can I just say that Sidwell has been a breath of fresh air for this cast. I love that he's just really ingratiating himself into.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, he is. And so here's something that we were talking about that was interesting. So Sidwell had that thing with Lucas last week.
Yep.
And there was a weird point at the elevator where he put his hand on Lucas's arm, and Lucas seemed a little disconcerted by it.
Yeah.
And somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody in our Zoom chat was like, oh, maybe he's bi and he cheated on Natalia with a man, and that's why she was homophobic.
And
I was like, that would be an interesting little twist.
It would be. Agreed.
I
also heard that on a couple of the other podcasts that I listened to today, that it could be that he was flirting with Lucas and whatever.
Yeah.
Because we've also seen kind of some chemistry between Lucas and Isaiah.
Oh my God. And who else had great chemistry? Lucas and TJ had unexpected chemistry too. And I was just like, hello, let's do this. But, we'll see.
So, I mean, there is a lot out there. And there's so much meat on the bone in terms of story. Mm-hmm. In the coming attractions, who was the guy in the shower someone was walking in on?
Chase, and he was calling to Brooklyn that there was room in the shower for 2.
Yeah.
Not that I don't think that that's going to happen, but
no.
Yeah. But yes, it was Chase in the shower.
Yeah. But God dang, I almost forgot the biggest story of last week. Mavis the dog playing such a big part in,
My favorite part of all of that is the fact that they had her sitting there holding the dog in the previews, and you could see the dog was completely okay.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that was they're like, we're not even going to let it linger that it could have been the dog that just got hurt.
They had to.
Right, because people were already before, they're like, oh my God, she got the dog killed. The woman, fine, okay, great. But the dog, it was oh my God, people were flipping out at the idea that the dog could have gotten hurt.
So if you watch on Hulu, you don't get on the next episode. Mm-hmm. So you don't get to see it. But I've been obviously DVRing it, so I've been watching it, and I get the next, because that's the first thing I thought. She let the dog off the leash. You hear tires squeal, you hear the dog bark, and then it goes to black. And it's like, oh my God, they killed the dog. And then they show that on the next episode, and
Yeah, and she's holding.
They had to put that in there.
It was so funny though, and it was really funny too. The PI, Mavis, you bitch, get back here. I was just laughing with that whole thing, you know.
Oh God, yeah. And then Elaine afterwards, you know, comes out. She's got a neck brace, and she tells Sasha, she's like, "You were so good with her. Could you watch her for a little while I was great?" And then she's like, "But I got to be honest with you. Let's not play this game anymore. I'm a PI. Somebody's tracking you. Be careful."
And Sasha at first was like her whole "let's be honest with each other." Sasha was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it was just Elaine wanted to come clean.
Yes.
That was so freaking hysterical.
I loved it. I
do.
I truly enjoyed it.
I'm a fan of campy fun.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like, I was thinking, poor Sasha. Like, now she got a dog killed. Like, it's
just like, my God, woman, you've got the luck of, I don't even know. Jeez. Poor woman. She's got, yeah.
Yeah. But, all right, we've been going for over a half hour now. We're going to end it here. We've kind of touched on just about everything that happened this week in Port Charles. Remember, folks, it's next, I believe it's next Monday that the gates officially, Beyond the Gates officially start.
Yep.
So in 2 weeks, Kim, Angela, and I are going to be doing a special episode. I'm not sure if it's going to be a special episode or if it'll be during Suds News. We're still working out all the specifics, but we are going to be doing an episode dedicated to the first week of Beyond the Gates.
Yes.
It'll be Kim, Angela, and I, all three of us on talking about it. But folks, make sure to watch on CBS at 2 p.m. Eastern time. That the lead up to Beyond the Gates, Welcome to the Neighborhood special half-hour episodes this whole week, and then leading into it. I can't wait to see it. We also have to start. I have to get my we have to get our characters ready for the second annual Soap Stars March Madness tournament, which will be coming up pretty soon. And we'll be doing that selection show in a few weeks, because March Madness will be starting towards the end of March. So once that gets all set, we'll be doing that again. Come up with the brackets and everything. It's going to be great. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. Again, folks, this coming Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing a paid Zoom event, $5 entry fee. That's all I ask. You could DM me for details at Suds Media or at Vinny Suds, and I'll give you the Cash App or Venmo QR code. And we'll be talking about the differences and similarities between wrestling and soap operas. We're going to have a great time. Also, if you folks want to go ahead and donate to offset the cost of the Lifetime Achievement Championship belt, and I'll show it again right now, that we're going to present to Laura Wright in April. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/Suds Media, and whatever you donate will help out, and your name will go ahead and be put on the card that we give her with that as well. So again, that's buymeacoffee.com/Suds Media. We're going to be having a great time there. And go ahead and enjoy the show. That's all I want to say. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the soap opera genre, whether you're a fan of GH Days, Wynard, The Bay, Neighbors, which is an Australian soap, which I still have not watched yet.
I know. I want to do that and EastEnders, but I'm just like, I'm getting there. So
there's just a lot out there, and it's time to celebrate the genre of soap opera. As always, Angela, where can everybody find you?
They can find me at pettyprattle.com or Brooklyn74. Anybody who wants to join in our daily Zoom watch, it is free. Just DM me for the link. And we have a lot of fun. And then we also, do a lot, we chat a lot about soap. So if you like doing this, come chat with us. We have a lot of fun all the time. And yeah, I'm just out there.
All right, fantastic, folks. I want to thank you. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Again, you can reach me at Vinny Suds or at Suds Media on X. It's Vinny Suds on Facebook, and everywhere else it's Suds Media or Suds and Squared Circle. But we'll be back next week. And remember, folks, become a patron. Go to patreon.com/Suds and Squared Circle for all of our pre-recorded content, early and ad-free. That includes Dockside at the Bay, Take Me Down to Studio City, as well as Angela Answers Fan Mail, which we will do this week.
Yes, we will.
And
it's all my fault, not at all his fault. 100% my fault.
So we will get that taken care of for everybody. But patreon.com/Suds and Squared Circle. Again, it's only $5 a month to join, or you can buy the episodes themselves if you really want to. But anyways, folks, we're out of time. We will be back next Monday night, the 24th of February. Can't believe February is just about over again. But we'll be back next week, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Again, hit that like button, subscribe, get notified. If you like the show, tell a friend. If you don't like the show, tell an enemy. Either way, haters are welcome all the time. And folks, enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the week. We'll be back next week. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.